this is something that I wrote for a project that I did. The Philadelphia Art Museum, there are many ways to observe art. The one area in particular that a person wants to focus on is photography. As a person looks at the photography, they gaze at the windows to the past. The person looks from era to era in a turn of a page, a push of a button, or just walking from one room to the next. A person may want to feel something when looking at a photograph. They may want to become the character, seeking illusion, creating an interest or condition, becoming silent, eloquent, having freedom, power, and stimulation, or even gaze his or her unattained yet personal, attainable self. A person may want to see what the artist saw, feel how the artist felt, and inspire to become what the artist either once was or what the artist is today. The photographs you may choose to linger at when visiting the Philadelphia Art Museum are Shop, Les Halles Ice Cream Boulevard, or even Funeral Carriage. 3 out of the many outstanding photographs on display at the Philadelphia Art Museum. One of the things that a person may find interesting about Shop, the Halles display, is the fact that there are not one, however, there are 3 prints in which to compare and critique either individually or as a whole. The 3 prints in the gallery available to observe are the same print developed 3 different ways. The first one is Shop, Les Halles, Albellum, the silver print. This print in particular may have an older feel to it. The surrounding framework of the photograph, if explored by the observer for fine detail, the person may see the in-depth look at the day-to-day task of getting ready and prep, one of the most basic needs to human survival. As a person might, that's right, that is Papa. As a person might know, according to Milo's hierarchy of needs theory of needs is food. This in a picture of a butcher shop. This is not quite skinned yet, although everything is laid out and ready to go for the day's work ahead. As a person gazes at the print, they may wonder why the photographer chose such a place that gives the viewer the emotional stand of being chained or fenced in from the barred windows, or even feel small and swallowed up from the rather tall ceilings. In addition to feeling the small and chained down, a person may even feel a little distracted from the leaves and sticks on the cobblestone floors. The person may even wonder why the 3 prints are on display. The first one, the Albelman, it's Albumen. Albelman silver print is hazy looking. The next one, the Shop, Les Halles, is Glayton silver charcoal. Looks blown out. Plus, a person might notice that the silver charcoal print was not fixed properly, therefore the edges are fading away and lost the fine detail into the center in comparison to the silver print. However, not only is it fading, but there's a loss of fine detail in the center in comparison to the silver print. However, not only is it fading, but it is also muddy looking. In the third and final print of Shop, Michaelis was developed within the gelatin silver. A way of developing prints that is most commonly used in this era. This print has more contrast. Blacks are black and whites are whites. There are even a tonal range of grays in between. And the blacks and the whites. Even though the person may think that the print is a little blown out and could have been burned a little, a person may also notice that there is a loss of fine detail in the print, just as in the gelatin silver charloid print. The Ice Cream Vendor Boulevard print is another very interesting photograph on display with two different developing types. The person may choose to critique is the album silver print. Once again, it has an older feel to it and fine detail and gives the photograph's point of view very vividly. The person may feel that there is a lot of emotional attachment to the ice cream, and young and old alike. There is a little bit of well played out chaos in the background of the photograph. A moving bike, which maybe even brings out the sense of being there and experiencing the Paris life for themselves. This is a good use of geographical shapes around the environment in the photograph. Environment of the photographer. The person might notice he or she is accompanied by circles, triangles, and squares that coexist in such a way to draw your eye into the main focal point, which a person might assume to be the ice cream stand and surrounding people. The person may also want to shop and gaze at the gelatin silver print of the Ice Cream Boulevard that has a lot more contrast in comparison to the silver print. Even though it has more contrast, the person might notice that it does feel a little that it does fall a little out of focus in the background by the upper left-hand side of the print, where the window subject looks blurred. Although with the mirror imperfection of focus fall out, it also loses fine detail of the ice cream goer's clothing. The third and final print that a person might want to stop and spend some extra time on is the funeral carriage. First class album silver print. Once a person looks at the print, they might realize that it's a little foggy and a little muddy, although it has fine focus from all corners and angles of the photograph, which might draw the viewer in to the image past the fog and mud. To some people, this particular print might be telling them that there is a beginning and an end to life. The print might even be telling the viewer that the end is closer than to be expected. The people might think to themselves that everyone dies, it's just a matter of when, where, and how. And at what point in time they will leave this mortal plane. This person might look over the photographs, the photographer's use of many available shapes to his or her advantage. However, the person looks at the photograph actively and not passively from the task. They might not just be looking at the quality of the print or even the angles, lines, and textures that are choreographed within the frame. The person might be looking for the knowledge of the thoughts, emotions, angles, styles, fashion states, facilities, or social values of the era. That match or belong to the appropriate event. They might even be judging the people, places, and events occurring in the photograph and corresponding events happening in his or her life. A gathering of people, meaning a fellowship, judging together in such a way to critique the work of other photographers. It just makes decisions about the artist's choreographed moments and line, shape, texture, patterns, and even the hours of life and centuries of time in which is agreed upon by all parties to be art. Photography is thought expressed through nonverbal, pre-existing events in the rules and laws of photography and are subjective, bendable, and even breakable. The thought is always prior to the fact. Every photographer in this world is created by circumstance, predicaments, and sometimes even their own knowledge. If art is unexplainable to the untrained eye, then photography must be explained from the thought, from and through individual thought, emotion, and experience. And that was something that I wrote in college. I don't know if I actually want to read this aloud again, but I don't think I'm actually going to keep the paperwork because I don't feel like keeping anything. But yeah, we had a project, we went to the Philadelphia Art Museum, and we had to write a paper about it. Thank you, Angel. Oh, my poor baby. I'm actually a good writer if I want to be a good writer. I think I'm a good writer. So. Baby. Thank you, baby. Okay. Hold on. We're just gonna toss all these away. We're throwing these out. Yeah. Uh-huh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The appendix works out. Cover page. I might keep this. It's just a thin folder of paper. Papa. I don't want to start keeping stuff because I don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to keep all of it. I don't want to keep all of it. So I am keeping the folder. I'm not keeping any of these. This was James years ago. And he still does the same thing now that he did back then. He loves his sleep. So, like, contact sheet. Sleeping James. Like, awake James. Sleeping James. Yeah, he's always sleeping. Thank you, baby. Beauty really isn't the eyes of the beholder. So I wish I could. Thank you, Angel. Oh, you're so good. Digital priceless. I'm gonna keep that. What else is here? Oh. I was in high school. No, this is just paper. Really? Alright, so. Because I have some paper if I wanted to make prints, and yeah, it's Mama and Papa. That's what Mama looked like when she was younger. I did a photography shoot when I was younger. This is James and I. Boom. You okay? These are definitely my prints. Lift it up. It's in the light so I can see it. Yeah. We're just gonna toss them. Yeah. It feels awesome to go through stuff and throw stuff away. It really does. Like, I do want to make money off of this stuff, but not everything has a value to anyone else. Oh, really? Uh-huh. Diaper? Diaper. Yeah. Let me toss this. I don't think I'm going to keep any of this stuff, honestly. I kind of feel like going through, taking all the film out, and just selling the covers. This stuff is so old anyway. What is this from? Oh, it's a design or something. Yeah, we're just gonna throw these out. And then we just throw the entire thing out. Oh, the old Egyptian purse. Old school. So like this 4x5 with me everywhere. You are the baby. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. See the flower? Oh. And if you flower. You are the baby. I think I was always the person that never fit in. one. It's a different time back in my life. Strolling around Philadelphia. Oh yeah? Oh, yeah, it's film, baby. It's from back in the day when people used to use film cameras. Everything's digital. Sorry, baby. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna toss the entire thing. It's just a bunch of projects. I see what you got. I used to hang out with Tommy a lot when I was in college. Tommy Keenan, he was one of our resident advisors. He was pretty awesome. He's an awesome guy. His wife Jane was pretty cool too. Of course, baby. You want to watch Pim? Right, and that's what's in this Pim. Yeah. You want me to move all this stuff so you can sit down? Alright, hold on. Milo. Uh-huh. Oh. This was at the penitentiary. Down at the Paramount Park and stuff. I developed all these films all by myself. I always like this image I took of this little boy. He was down watching the water and the ducks. And I took a photo of him, and I thought that was really cute. This is me. Tommy took this. We were at an event. It looks like a drawing, but it's not. It's a photograph that Tommy took of me. Hey, here's a better one of that little boy. My cat's boots. Make my cat squish. Ah, squish, honey. This is my girlfriend Chrissy from when I was a kid. She's a beautiful woman. We lost touch a couple of years ago. This was a project I used to work down at UPS, so I brought my camera in the one night. There's my cat. Toss it off. Now here's something else I wrote. I might actually keep that. I'll write it in the lab later. Toss all this stuff. I think you're meant to keep all the stuff that you did in your life. Because then your house would just be stacked with stuff. I don't think I want to go through the rest of these. I think I just want to toss them. My buddy Corey. A long time ago. All this stuff. Oh, color photography. Before all that other stuff was black and white. Okay, this is all black and white photography. This is color. Analog photography. I took all these with my Canon for the most part. I don't think I'm going to go through the rest of them. It's just a, when it comes up. It's not a. Toss this.